Aden, a young man in his early 20s, lived in a town renowned for its soothing quiet and the slow passage of time. But Aden's heart was not content with this tranquility. His soul burned with a restless fire, a yearning that pulled him beyond the familiar world, towards an unknown destination. Since childhood, Aden's dreams had been filled with vibrant and intricate stories. He wandered through worlds where the laws of nature were suspended, where talking animals and flying islands were commonplace. These dreams had instilled within him a deep desire to find a greater purpose in his waking life as well. Aden spent countless hours in the town library, devouring books on philosophy, history, and the tales of various cultures. Each book further fueled his curiosity, but none could answer the question that echoed in his heart: what is the purpose of my life? He sought counsel from the elders of the town, listening to their life experiences, but each person's path was different, and Aden knew he had to find his own. One night, as the moon shone with all its brilliance, Aden had a dream unlike any he had experienced before. He stood in a vast and boundless plain where a shimmering tower was visible on the distant horizon. A mysterious voice echoed in his heart: "Your purpose awaits atop that tower." When he awoke, his heart was filled with certainty. He knew he had found his answer. He had to reach that shimmering tower. The next day, Aden packed his meager belongings. He had a few clothes, some coins, and an old book he had inherited from his grandfather. He bid farewell to his parents, their eyes reflecting both concern and love. They knew their son was embarking on a special journey, one with an uncertain destination, but one that his soul needed. Aden crossed the boundaries of his town and set out on a path that he hoped would lead him to the shimmering tower. His journey was not easy. He had to traverse dense forests, towering mountains, and arid deserts. At every step, he faced new difficulties and challenges. Sometimes hunger and thirst tormented him, sometimes he had to contend with dangerous animals, and sometimes the harshness of the weather tried to shake his resolve. But Aden never gave up. The memory of his dream and the certainty of that mysterious voice gave him the strength to face every obstacle. He learned from every experience, took lessons from his mistakes, and moved forward each new day with a stronger determination. Different paths and experiences. During his travels, Aden met a wide variety of people. Each person had their own story, their own wisdom, and their own unique way of looking at life. Once, he met an old traveler named Simon. Simon had seen many corners of the world, and he had countless tales to share. He taught Aden the importance of patience and endurance. Simon said, "Life is a long journey, young man. It has many ups and downs. The important thing is that you don't lose your way and always keep moving towards your goal." Then Aden arrived in a village where the people were suffering under the oppression of a cruel ruler. When Aden saw their plight, his heart was filled with sorrow. He decided to help these people and join them in raising their voices against the ruler. In this struggle, he also faced dangers, but he learned to fight for justice and truth. This experience made him realize that the purpose of life is not just the search for oneself, but also helping others. At another stage of his journey, Aden reached a serene valley where a wise mystic lived. The mystic's name was Alara. Alara taught Aden the power of silence and the importance of listening to the voice within. She taught him the methods of meditation and contemplation, which helped Aden understand the deeper meaning of his dreams. Alara said, "Your purpose is not outside, it is hidden within you. You just need to recognize it." Aden also visited a city that was a center of knowledge and art. There he met various artists, poets, and scientists. By interacting with them, Aden learned the importance of creativity and the art of seeing the world from a new perspective. He himself tried writing and expressing his thoughts and felt that this was also an important part of his journey. Every encounter and every experience had a profound impact on Aden's heart and mind. He transformed from a naive young man into a wise and experienced traveler. The curiosity within him still remained, but now it was accompanied by a deeper insight and wisdom. Towards the tower. After a long and arduous journey, Aden saw the shimmering tower in the distant horizon, its form still hazy. His heart filled with excitement and hope. He quickened his pace, all his energies focused on this final destination. The path to the tower was even more challenging. He had to cross a desolate wilderness where there was no shade and no sign of water. The heat of the sun and the warmth of the earth scorched his body, but his resolve was as strong as steel. He stumbled and fell, but then he would get up and keep moving forward. Finally, he reached the foot of the tower. It was a magnificent and mysterious structure, its top lost in the clouds. Its walls were adorned with ancient inscriptions and strange symbols. Aden searched for the door of the tower and found a heavy wooden door with no knocker or handle. Aden tried to push the door, but it wouldn't budge. He looked around, but there was no other way in sight. Disappointed, he sat down in front of the door and began to wonder what to do now. Suddenly, he remembered Alara's words, "Your purpose is not outside, it is hidden within you." Aden closed his eyes and tried to look within himself. He recalled all his experiences, repeated the wisdom he had received from all the people he had met, and pondered the deeper meaning of his dreams. After a while, Aden opened his eyes, and a new thought came to his mind. He opened the old book he had inherited from his grandfather. He realized that he had never read this book carefully. Now he began to turn its pages. The book contained various kinds of stories, poems, and words of wisdom. When he reached the last pages of the book, he found a small poem that touched his heart. The poem read, "The path is not outside, seek it in your heart. The answer is not on high, feel it within. When you know yourself, then you will find your destination. Traveler of dreams, only then will you succeed." Reading the poem, Aden had a profound realization. He understood that the external purpose he had been searching for was actually within him. All the experiences, all the encounters, all the difficulties were actually preparing him to know himself. Aden got up and stood again in front of the tower door. He placed his hand on the door and felt a deep peace and certainty in his heart. Suddenly, the door slowly began to open without a sound. The revelation of purpose. Aden stepped inside the tower. The atmosphere inside was mysterious and serene. The light was dim, but there was a strange glow in the air. He walked through a long corridor whose walls were covered with more ancient inscriptions. At the end of the corridor was a large room with a shimmering crystal installed in the center. As Aden approached the crystal, a soft light emanated from it, and the same mysterious voice he had heard in his dream echoed in his mind. But this time the voice was clearer and more familiar. "You have arrived, traveler of dreams. Your journey is complete." Aden asked, "What is all this?" "This tower, this crystal, this voice. What is my purpose?" The voice replied, "Your purpose is not a single destination, but a continuous journey. Your purpose is to learn, to experience, to help others, and to recognize the potential within you. You possess a heart filled with compassion and love. Your purpose is to spread light in this world." Aden felt as if a great burden had been lifted from his heart. He had found the answer to his question. He understood that the purpose of life is not a static thing, but a dynamic process. It is about learning, growing, and sharing your knowledge and love with others every day. The light of the crystal grew brighter, and Aden saw the faces of all the people he had met on his journey around him. Simon's smile, Ilara's serene eyes, the hopeful looks of the villagers he had helped, and the creative spark of the artists from whom he had gained knowledge. All of them together confirmed Aden's purpose. The voice spoke again. Now you can return. Share your experiences with others and inspire them to embark on their own search for their dreams. Remember, there is a shimmering tower in every heart, which only needs to be recognized. Aden gave the crystal one last look and then turned and walked back towards the corridor he had come from. When he stepped out of the tower, the sun was rising and the entire valley was bathed in golden light. Aden took a deep breath, his heart filled with peace and certainty. His journey was not over. In fact, his real journey was just beginning. He was a traveler of dreams who now knew the purpose of his life and was ready to share it with others. He set off towards his town, a new smile on his face and a belief in a bright future in his heart. He had learned that the greatest purpose of life lies in serving and loving others.